Okay, printer basics. Printer basics, we have some different properties. We have a printer resolution. How much density can you fit on that one sheet of paper? If you draw something up on 24 by 36, can you print it 24 by 36? We have speed requirements. We have graphics and pointer language support. So again, this is kind of an old course. So some of these things aren't always relevant today. So some of these things aren't relevant at all, like graphics and printer support languages or printer language support. So there might be some issues with that, but everything today is rendered through different engines, and the printers can most likely print anything that you can send to them. With respect to anything you would buy for like your Soho small office, home office, and even a full office, but if you're getting into plotters and things like that, you may have some issues and you might need some special drivers or something. So paper capacity is an issue. We need to make sure that we have enough paper for our normal printing needs. Duty cycles. So how many sheets of paper can I print at once? Can I run my printer all day long? Or can I print something and then I have to let everything cool down and then I can print again? So that's what a duty cycle refers to. Can it handle continuous printing or not? Do I have to leave it idle for say 45 minutes in between prints? The cost of paper. What if it only takes the most expensive kind of paper, but most of our printing needs are like we want to print on cheap paper for practice shots and we only keep like 1 out of 5, that kind of thing, in the case where you're perfecting a drawing or something. And then cost of consumables like the ink. Some common printer terms: American Standard Code for Information Interchange, or ASCII. Fonts, line print terminal port. So the LPT port, what kind of interface? Is it USB or is it LPT? We talked about this previously. Again, this is old stuff. You won't see that around today. And then we have laser print control language, printer control language, laser jet printer control language. So it's PCL, printer control language. So that's a specific support. You will see that today. Almost every printer will have a PCL driver for it today. PostScript, does it support PostScript fonts? Most all printers will support PostScript fonts today. There was a time when that was a real big problem. You would have the fonts on your computer, but you couldn't print them because it couldn't support the PostScripting. It had to translate it, and it would come out in some funky looking block or really messed up looking characters. Resolution enhancement. So can it support enhancing the resolution? So it can only print this, but it can shrink it down and then do some mathematical operations on it to kind of make it print properly, still at a different modified resolution. And then we have the orientation. Does it print sideways or tall ways? So that's portrait and landscape. Does it print portrait and landscape? So you have a sheet of paper. Does it work when I print it both ways? And then duplexing. Can it print on both sides of the paper? And if so, can I feed it all the paper and then it'll print double-sided and so on and so forth, that kind of thing. Also, duplexers have another term. So a duplexer will actually take the paper out, the first original ones, flip it over, and then feed it back into the machine. So they kind of did a little movement on the outside. But also duplexers today, when people talk about duplexers today, what they mean is, will it actually, if I print 5 copies, will it have 5 trays on the outside of the printer where I'll have all 5 copies that I can pluck off, or will they all be stacked in order and maybe stapled? So duplexers today, that's what they do. They'll actually put them all in order for you, and with respect to front and back. So page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not page 1, page 1, page 1, page 1, and page 2, page 2, page 2, page 2, where you have to go and manually sort them. Duplexers today will do all of that sorting for you, and most of them can even staple it. So printer ports. So now this has become a logical thing because everything's connected over USB. So the ports are more of a logical terminology that might require support of a protocol more than an actual pin configuration. So ports can be serial, small computer systems interface ports, parallel, although parallel is the most common. There was a time when this was true, but everything today uses USB, or even wireless, where there's no wires at all now. So the parallel port consists of 25-pin male plug, that's the old LPT port. Parallel ports have some disadvantages. The data transfer rate is only 150,000 bytes per second. The parallel port uses system resources while printing, like the computer's memory and things of this nature. So if you were sharing a printer on a network from your machine and somebody shot a big document to it that had graphics in it and had to be rendered, your computer would actually freeze while it did that, and then you'd get your control back, or it'd be real jerky. Your computer would be very unresponsive while it was sending this print job to the printer the whole time until it was completely finished printing. And now we have these standalone printers that have all their own memory and resources to render those documents, so nobody cares. Parallel ports uses system resources while printing. We talked about that. Parallel cables have a maximum effective length of 10 feet. So that's not necessarily true. People would run them over 150 and 200 feet. They may still work, but just realize that if there's a lot of RF noise and things like that, or the printer was having some power problems or something like that, it may reduce the effective length of the cable. So really, you're only supposed to run them up to 10 feet, but they would work pretty far, much farther than that.